We have a few people who basically engaged in illegal behavior. They were discovered. There was an investigation that was done. Law enforcement was brought into the investigation, and the folks that were affected by it were notified.
How many people are affected by this in total?
Somewhere around 2,000 people are affected by it, and the 4 people that were involved in this scam have been fired.
How was it allowed to happen for so long?
Well, it didn't happen for that long. I mean, it was one of those things where the investigation went on for quite a long time, but that was because people wanted to make absolutely sure that they got to every piece of the behavior and the activity that led to that.
Are there steps in place to keep it from happening again?
There were steps in place to find this in the first place. The reason they discovered this was because they did a review and an audit on a regular basis of these types of transactions and figured out that there was something there that didn't make sense, and they investigated it, discovered that there was in fact activity here that went way beyond sort of administrative mistakes, and brought law enforcement into the conversation and fired the people that were involved in it.
Which law enforcement? Was it Mass State Police? Was it Brockton?
I'm not going to speak to which law enforcement was involved because they're still doing some of their own work on it.
Governor, last night we reported that someone was producing fraudulent car titles out of the RMV. Were you made aware of that?
That's another one where the RMV figured it out because they had a compliance process in place. They determined that there was an issue on it. They notified the people that were involved, and they're also cooperating with authorities with respect to what the next step should be.
Do you believe these are then isolated incidents and just part of everyday business?
Look, anytime an operation does the homework associated with auditing its own work and figures out there's something wrong going on and does what the registry did in both of these cases, that's what you want them to be doing. I mean, if some low-level person is either engaging in fraudulent activity or illegal activity or doing something that's not consistent with the rules and the policies, you want to have somebody figure it out, call it out, and then investigate it, and if it should be referred to law enforcement, do so.
Are you worried about the culture there, though? The fact that low-level people...
There are hundreds of people who work for the registry. This is a handful. I'm not worried about the culture.